Hi, I'm Paul Bowman, CEO at Wexer, the digital fitness specialist who deliver over 25 million fitness experiences through our partners worldwide. Welcome to the Wexer podcast, where I'll be speaking to industry experts to bring you insights and advice to support your business journeys. And today's episode, backed by popular demand, I will be chatting with Karen Mason, Head of Customer Operations here at Wexer. For anyone that may be new to the Wexer podcast, Wexer is a global leader in digital fitness, helping fitness operators deliver world-class virtual and on-demand workouts anytime, anywhere. Our platform powers seamless hybrid experiences that boost member engagement, retention, and revenue. So, Karen, welcome again.
Thank you very much for having me back. It's very kind.
It's okay. It's okay. So, look, we're going to do a bit of a deep dive into really multi-site management. So based off our last podcast, it was all there was a lot of feedback in terms of, can you please give us some advice in terms of how to manage multi-site operations. Of course, we support 18 of the top 25 chains around the world, so it made sense to put this on a podcast with the head of operations herself. So, Karen, let's probably talk. I think I've got 5 different points for you, but let's talk consistency, I think, first for multi-site operators. Like, how does My Wexer and for the people that don't know My Wexer, the back-end system, help multi-site locations maintain consistent brand and member experiences across all their sites?
Yes, it's really set up to do that. The My Wexer, you can have as a one-off, you just have a My Wexer. As a chain, you have a My Wexer that is all your clubs within the chain. It's set up so each club can get into their own My Wexer if it should be, but the operator has oversight of all of it, so they can see what's going on, they can interact with it, but really from a consistency point of view, they can ensure that the players look uniform. They can ensure that what their members are seeing, regardless of what club they're going in, they're seeing the same thing, they're seeing the same product. So they've spent money on branding their clubs, so they don't need to spend money on branding their virtual player. We can do that all through, or they can do that all through My Wexer with our guidance if needed, so that everything looks the same, it's consistent, it's their product in every single one of their clubs.
Nice. And then in terms of scalability, so fitness operators are growing, expanding, and scalability becomes probably the most crucial thing in terms of still delivering the great experience that they were known for. In terms of how is Wexer supporting businesses as they scale from a handful of locations to dozens?
Yes,
thousands in some.
Or thousands, yeah. I mean, it would be the same for the operator when they're logging, but they've got 500 clubs. They can go in, they can take advantage of all the features and make it chain wide, so they can then make sure that their branding is correct just from one place, so they can ensure that all their clubs look the same. The scalability, if they add clubs, or as they add clubs to their business, they will just get added to their My Wexer chain, so they can get into there and ensure that it's all correct. If they have their own content, say they're uploading their own content through the partner portal that needs to go to their own players, then once they're added to their chain, their new club will automatically have that content. So from a back end point of view, it's just as simple. The list is just longer because they've got more clubs, but what they do is no different. If they want the same thing in each club, what they physically do is the same. So it's just one job for the operator, 5 or 500 clubs. It just automatically happens.
Nice. And then, well, you kind of mentioned it, but like in terms of operational efficiency, like I guess how are we reducing the complexity and improving the efficiency? It's really scalability and duplication by just taking one schedule, one way of doing it, and duplicating across all of them, or
there's choices with the calendars and duplicating, But in essence, yes. So the operator knows that they can always use virtual for cover classes. The operator knows that they don't have to have it, extra staff costing, say for cover as an example, chain wide, because they can set virtual classes as cover classes. It reduces scheduling time, physical time for scheduling, because they can create a one-size-fits-all calendar if that's the way they want to go. And they know that they're going to keep the calendars fresh, the content that's on view fresh. So, whereas sometimes some clubs might not spend the time on it, but the operator knows that what they offer their club is correct. So it's efficient in the fact that depending on how much work they want to take on, one person can do everything for their entire chain, 5 or 500 or thousands of clubs.
And so let's talk insights, I guess, as well, in terms of data decisions. That's something that comes up, I think, in every single conversation, especially as they scale their digital offerings. I guess, how does the system empower them to make better decisions with the insights that we give?
The stats break down, they can get an overall by chain, so they can see entirely what their chain of clubs are doing, but then they can see individually of what clubs are doing. So they will know what classes are chosen on demand, so what's popular in some clubs, what isn't in others, so they can then give insights to the club managers. They can then know themselves what classes are popular, so when they want to update the calendar, they're actually putting the right classes on, the classes that the people want to see in there. Also, they might even have sites that are unmanned, say a family housing or an office building that has a gym space. So they don't have to rely on anybody doing anything on all of those sites. That they can do it, they can get the data from what the users are using and update constantly, and not even need to visit the site. So all the stats will give them the correct information to make the right decisions to keep all their users engaged, whether they're even manned or not manned facilities.
Makes sense. And then I guess flipping that with also thinking local, I totally accept from a big club chain point of view, a multi-site chain, consistency is going to always be going to be a key thing. But so how do they create some unique experiences? How do they, give me some advice, I guess, in terms of how you strike the balance between standardization and flexibility in regards to local levels?
Yes. Yeah. From the sort of, I would say probably three choices. Whoever's leading the main operator, as I mentioned, they can go into each site and they can make things as individual or not. They can create one example. They can create a calendar that they would suggest would be a good starting place. So like a template, say. And each club can clone that calendar. So if they want each site to have their own a bit more flexibility, they can clone the created calendar and just make little tweaks. Maybe the 7:30 class should be at 7, but they've got a starting place. So the operator is doing the groundwork, but giving the site a bit more ability to manage their own clubs.
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's also total opposite, where the operator can just create a master calendar. So every single site within that group will have that calendar. They won't see it in their My Wexer, they'll see it on the player. They don't have to do anything, they don't interact with it. Now that's good in the fact that they don't have to do anything, but it's quite easy in that case for the club to think, oh, that's just the Wexer.
It runs itself.
It runs itself, and then they might not engage with it as much, so the members of their club in turn might not be engaged with it enough. But something like that, say, would be great for very short unmanned or unstaffed, I'm sorry,
Yes.
facilities, or facilities that are very, very short on staff. So
Sure.
again, you get what you want across, and
Yeah.
all the branding and everything is done. All the commercials, all the screensavers, all the media, the logo, even changing the actual color of the background of the player, all of that can be done by the operator. So they can give as much control to the club, or as little control to the
As they
club,
want.
as they want.
And what would be your advice, in terms of, because we see usage patterns changing, the more they're engaging in the system, more they're getting the content right for the particular people that are coming here, the better it is. But we do see a significant hike when it's local stars, because we know that the local stars are pushing their own content, and it feels, I want to see Karen. I can't see Karen at 9 a.m. on a Friday, and that's the only class that she does. Now I can see her digitally. So what like from a multi, you've managed big club chains before, like what is the balance? Like, how often should they be actually looking at this and taking the data and making changes on the sites? Because you're right, I think some of the issues with the Wexer system is it can just run itself. And I know we have auto rotate, so the classes always update. But how often should someone actually be a group exercise director or fitness director, or one of the individuals that are looking at the member experience, be actually looking at this on a regular basis?
I would say at minimum each quarter.
Just
and thinking of it in the same way as instructors that come in and teach. You every quarter you want to check that the numbers that are coming into the studio are right. Every quarter you want to check that they're actually keeping themselves up to date and they're not teaching the same class they taught 10 years ago. So think of it in the same manner. If your members are going to see the same class at the same time every Monday morning, it's going to get stale, however good it is, whether it be virtual or an instructor coming in. So I would say at an absolute minimum, a quarter, run through the data, run through what's popular, make little tweaks and changes. Also, rotate is a brilliant thing, but it needs to have some consistency as well. So some people like to go to the same class, but they don't want to go to the same class for months on end. So each quarter, in clubs that I've been involved in over the past, and what seems to be successful with virtual as well, is just a refresh, not a total change, because that's all a bit much to handle for them and the members, but each quarter just do little tweaks so that it keeps fresh.
An evolution rather than a revolution is what I've heard
absolutely
before.
Yes.
Okay, and then again, yourself holding roles as a multi-site operator, like any other advice you would like to give?
Think of virtual as a product that is going to enhance member experience. It's something that offers an enormous amount. It offers obviously virtual classes, it offers the ability to fill up your timetable, but it offers the ability to advertise anything that you have within your club. You're going to have screens all over the place. They all do. Their notice boards have got, and your virtual player can become a notice board as well. So the more you involve virtual within your club as a whole, with every function that it has, the more you as a club manager or operator have accepted it. The important thing is that it is part of the regular product. It's not just an add-on. Oh, there's the virtual player. Your members need to be introduced to it as a class. They need to be introduced to it. Oh, we use the commercials that will come on the screen just as headlines, so if a new instructor's joining us, or there's a new PT in the gym. So do pay attention. There'll just be a little video. Just more reasons for people to engage with the technology will make them more at ease to actually use it. And the more they use it, people are going to see the benefits. And as you were saying about instructors having their own content on and their own being their own superstar, a great introduction to that is cover. So say I was teaching a class and I couldn't make it. My cover class is a video of me teaching my class. find it's not the same because it's not me, but it's me in the video.
Definitely.
And then the studio instructors are engaged with it because they've got themselves in it. Now, as most people know that have been involved in studios, the studio instructor can do no wrong. So if their class see that the studio instructor is engaged with it, the members in that class are engaged with it straight away because their studio instructor says so. So that there's easy ways to promote without actually having to spend an enormous amount of time on it. Just use it as a tool for so many different things rather than just thinking, oh, I'll put a virtual class on.
Yeah, nicely said. And then I guess how do people like that listen to this podcast want to go into this a little bit more, clients and non-clients?
Yeah, well, we're here to help. I mean, each client has a My Wexer, so it's easy to explain all the whys and wherefores. We've got the Success Hub that breaks it all down a bit. We've got a website, obviously, that has a lot of information. And people that don't know us, yeah, I mean, have a call. I'm happy to talk about it. You can find us on LinkedIn or wherever. And if it's not sort of a sales call, I'm not the salesperson, so I can explain all the behind the scenes stuff. And then if they think, oh, this is great, this could work, then it would be passed on. So it's not as if I'm going to be for somebody that doesn't know us saying, oh, buy this. It'll be, you know, this product is good because, and then it might help a decision to actually think, let me speak to one of the business development team.
Nice. Appreciate you offering that. And then, look, again, I'm going to say thank you for joining me on the Wexer podcast, Karen. I think it's this might even become more of a regular thing, and we might even do a series, But let's hold all the audience in suspense.
Perfect. A series would be lovely. I'm happy to chat.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining me, Karen.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.